Well, now, sugar, you better sit tight, 'cause the story I am about to tell you, I isn't just about a broken family. It's about stitches. The kind that mend hearts, and the kind that leave scars. My name's Evelyn May Carter. Folks round here call me Granny May. And once upon a time, I was known for my sewing. Dresses, quilts, curtains, you name it. I stitched it. That old Singer machine in my living room wasn't just metal and thread. It was my life. I raised 3 kids on that humming machine after my husband, Frank, passed away too early. It kept food on our table, shoes on their feet, and hope in my chest. My oldest boy, Rick, he was always the sharp one, ambitious, talking fast, dreaming big. My middle one, Marcy, was soft and sweet. She helped me every Sunday. And the youngest, Danny, bless his heart, he just wanted peace in a family that never stopped arguing. When Frank died, that machine became the sound of survival. But years later, that same machine became the sound of revenge. It started the day Rick came back home after years of silence. He walked in wearing an expensive suit, smelling like money and guilt. "Mama," he said, "I've got an offer. There's a developer who wants to buy this house and the land. They're paying good money enough for you to live fancy." I looked at him over my glasses. "Baby, I ain't living for fancy. I'm living for peace." But he pushed harder. "Mama, you don't understand. This old place isn't worth anything anymore. You could move into one of them retirement homes." I just smiled and said, "Retirement. Homes are for folks who forgot what home feels like." Marcy looked furious. "Rick, she's happy here. You can't force her." But Rick wasn't listening. He'd already made plans behind my back. He even brought a real estate man one afternoon while I was sewing by the window. Thought I wouldn't hear them talking, but this old lady's ears still work just fine. "We'll get the papers ready," the man said. "Once your mama signs, we'll start demolition." Demolition. That word hit me harder than any slap. That night, I sat by my sewing machine, tears falling on the fabric. I whispered, "Frank looks like our boy forgot where he came from. But don't you worry, I still got a few stitches left in me." The next morning, I told them all I was making one last quilt, a family quilt. "Every square's gonna hold a piece of our story," I said. "When it's done, I'll decide what to do with this house." Rick smirked, thinking it was just sentimental nonsense. But Marcy smiled and helped me gather the old clothes, Frank's shirts, my aprons, their baby blankets. Every night I sewed a piece, whispering prayers into the fabric. But I also sewed something else. Hidden in one corner, right under the patch made from Rick's old baseball jersey, I stitched in a small velvet pouch. Inside it, my real will, the one leaving everything, house, land, and savings, to Marcy and Danny. Rick wasn't getting a penny. Why hide it? Because I knew my boy. He'd go looking, and sure enough, he did. One afternoon, I caught him snooping in my drawers. "What are you looking for, Rick?" I asked. He stammered, just, old pictures. I smiled. You won't find what you want in there, sugar. That night, I finished the quilt soft as heaven, heavy with secrets. I called them all over. This quilt is our history, I said, and I'm passing it down. Rick rolled his eyes. Mama, what are we supposed to do with a quilt? I looked him dead in the eye. Keep warm. You'll need it one day. A month later, I was gone, left this world in my sleep, with a smile on my face and peace in my heart. And when the lawyer read my official will, Rick nearly fell off his chair, because all it said was, "See the quilt." He stormed out, furious. He didn't care about memories. But Marcy, she wrapped that quilt around her shoulders every night, just feeling close to me. Until one day, a corner tore open, and out slipped that velvet pouch. Inside, the will, written in my hand. To my daughter Marcy and my youngest Danny, who knew the meaning of love, this home is yours. To my son Rick, may you one day learn that money can tea by a mother's heart. Marcy cried till her hands shook. Danny said she knew he'd do this. They fixed up the house. Turned my sewing room into a little workshop for teaching local kids how to stitch. And Rick, he went broke a year later when one of his deals fell apart. He came by one day, looking worn, humbled. Marcy met him at the porch. "Mama left something for you," she said. She handed him a small box. Inside was a piece of that old quilt, just one square, and a note that read, "Every thread you pulled apart in greed, I sewed back together with love." Don't forget, Rick stitches can break, but family can mend. He cried like a child, and for the first time in years, he stayed for supper. Now, that old sewing machine still sits in the corner, humming every time the wind blows through. Folks say they can hear it late at night, like I am still stitching peace into broken hearts. That's my story, sugar. Sometimes revenge isn't about hurting back. It's about teaching them what they threw away. And Lord knows, the best kind of revenge is love that outlives the pain. Good night, darling. Don't ever let greed stitch holes where love used to be. Thank you so much for listening to my story. If it touched your heart, please consider subscribing and sharing it with someone who might need to hear it. Stay blessed.